You're stuck with us. Hi. Hello, Bear. Hello, Kiro. Yeah, Kiro's not well. Jeeb's also not well. Many people are not well. Now is the time to not be well, apparently. Which is not good. How are we doing, apart from not well? That's going to work on a comic? Nice. We don't know what we're going to work on, because we didn't know who would be here. So we didn't really plan much. But we have plans. It's me and Ragdoll, I should specify. So we may end up with more maths. It's a possibility. Yep. Da-da-da-da. Nope, I haven't full screen yet. That's not full screen. Math stream. Ragdoll is ascertaining whether or not you can use a spirograph on a tablet. Previous attempts have been relatively successful.
Yeah, the answer is sort of, but it's not. It's hard to keep it lined up right.
That's kind of cool. There you go.
Yeah, usually if I
Cool.
was doing this on like a piece of paper, I'd have like some sticky putty and I'd be holding the outer ring with the sticky putty onto the paper. Can't do that on a tablet, at least not so easily.
Nope.
So, for those of you in the audience who do not know what a spirograph is, because I cannot show you the physical spirographs tools I am working with on account of the fact that one, my camera is not on, two, it wouldn't help you anyway because I'm not the one streaming this.
Good point.
It's basically a set of two. You've got an outer ring and an inner gear, and the inner gear has a bunch of little holes in it that you can stick your pencil in. And you put your pencil in the little hole and sort of rotate the gear around inside the outer ring. And as it goes around, it makes these loops and spirals using various trig things. And you get nifty little designs depending on the size of the circle you're using and sort of the where in the circle you've got your pen. Usually they've got like 10 or so different holes in them for any particular size. They also sometimes come in weird shapes. So I've got one in here that's shaped like an egg. Also, you don't have to technically start with a circle on the outside. I've seen spirograph outer rings, quote unquote, that are like rectangles and rounded rectangles and rounded triangles.
There's a question. How would you... Never thought about this. How would you parameterize the curve created by a spirograph given the curves of the two shapes? Is that easier said than done, or... This is maths. We should probably not be talking about this on stream. But
I imagine that. I mean, you could do it. I'm sure. Like I'm sitting here and it's like, oh, that's just a polar coordinate problem because you've got where the center is, and you've got the inner circle that's defining what the radius would be at any particular point. And this is something that means absolutely nothing to the majority of the people in the audience.
That's as okay to talk about on stream. Not if it's completely going over the head of everybody. We can work this out in our spare time. Parameterizations of spirographs. That's on my my list of things to look up. What are we going to do though? Because like I said, we didn't really play. We've got a load of things that we could do. There are loads of random generators, and we've got challenges that we've done before, and more maths. Unfortunately, I think I got rid of all of the little maths names I had last time. Although I think I also said them all. So, Elementrum and the Watson. Polar parameterizations. Sorry, that problem's still going over in my mind.
Well, I guess we could just pull one of the randomizers and
Yeah.
start
What have
seeing
we
what
got?
it gives us.
Yeah, so I went onto the there's a website full of it's a website called Fantasy Name Generators, but it has a bunch of things on it. And there was a tab that I never went in called Pop Culture. I was like, what's in that? Turns out they have a lot of random generators for names of things in a bunch of different IPs, and I was quite surprised by the granularity of some of them. So I clicked on Doctor Who, and I was like, oh, like a Doctor Who monster thing. No, there are subcategories. You can get a Dalek name. You can get a Raxacolocephalopatorian name. Like, what? Why? Stargate? Do you want an Asgard name? That would be a bit redundant. They all look the same. Literally clones. But yeah, I was just quite surprised by just how many there were and how specific they were.
Yeah. That's also where the Pokemon name generator is, though the description generators are in a different tab, which makes sense.
Yeah. Well, there is Pokemon descriptions is in there. I guess that's still all pop culture, but there is Pokemon names. We could do Pokemon names.
That sounds fun. I'm going to put this
Yeah.
paragraph stuff off to the side because that is taking up space.
Here's Pokemon name generator.
But yes, you are right. There are a lot of pop culture stuff in there. I mean, I guess it's probably just mainly because it's like it's in there if someone decided, hey, it would be funny if.
Yeah. Obviously, there's Star Wars, Star Trek. Like Star Trek race generator. Oh, no. It's just a variety of races. How many? 30? 30 races, by the looks of it. Each of which have their own random generator. Minecraft? What? Bats? Bat names? That's too specific. Anyway, yes. Pokemon names. I also drew a cozy cat for all of the friends who are ill and require coziness.
And I drew a biblically accurate angel using a spirograph.
Yes, this is the guardian angel of bad colds. Well, not of bad colds, against bad colds, I guess. Right, who wants to go first? By which I mean, do you want to go first or me?
I mean, are we saying going first generating or going first drawing?
My coin jar's still here, so we could flip.
Because one of us would be generating the numbers and not numbers,
Yeah.
names. Jesus, a random number generator. Let's
I'll-
draw. Let's use a random number generator to generate a number and draw it.
I want to draw 67. No. So, or I guess like, you know, like Agent 47. What does Agent, 53 look like? Off you go. But yeah, I'll draw first. I'll do something.
Okay.
Give me a rando poco.
Let me turn off my biblically accurate angel first. Okay. So we have. Oh, it has a Pokemon types button too. That scares me a little bit. But no, Pokemon names. Oh, and it's one of the ones that gives you like 10 of them and then you get to pick from. Oh. Okay, let's go Growfant.
Growfant?
Yes. Growfant.
Growfant. Okay. It's not the first time I've drawn an elephant on one of these streams. The problem is the first thing that comes to mind is just Dumbo.
More
right?
elephants. We need an elephant. We need an elephant for every element.
Yes. How about? Well, it's got to be a Pokemon, right? There's no consistent Pokemon style, so there's no point asking that question.
Yeah, especially these days.
Okay, I have an idea. This tiny little elephant friend, little baby elephant, with sort of
A baby fint. Don't worry, it'll grow. It's a growfant.
a growfant. And the first thought was like growing ears. Second thought was growing trunk. Third thought is big old growing tusks. So that's what I'm going with.
Oh, look, the cute little elephant that's now going to maul you.
Kind of
Although as far
less
as
on the
I'm aware,
sharp.
they mostly use tusks for, like, digging.
Ah, so it knows dig. That's good to know. We can be a ground type partially. Ground fighting, maybe?
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Feels like
I'd say I don't know if we have any ground fighting types yet, but also I'm just wholly unaware of the majority of the Mons in the 2 most recent gens, so who knows?
Oh yeah, I know bugger all about them. I was doing a thing recently, actually, where it's like, rank all of your Pokemon by gen and type. So you had a favorite for each generation and type pairing. And yeah, there was a lot from like the last 2 generations where I'm like, I've never seen you before.
Yeah.
What eyes do we go with? I feel like this should
And
be
I mean,
cute.
in my case, I just actively haven't played any of those games, so I have no idea beyond what I've picked up from people posting things. So, like, there are some things I'm aware of, like this isn't a Pokemon, this is just a Molgoth.
No, that's Resident Evil,
From
right?
Arceus. But most of it, it's like I haven't played it, don't know.
I'm going for the sort of simple shapes and patterns. If it's going to be sort of wet ground, I'm going to give it sort of little sort of muddy feet pattern. Trying to do a little better at focusing in on the style of these things than I usually do during these streams. This probably has some sort of zigzag pattern on it.
It's got socks.
Yeah, it's got little socks. Little muddy socks. And this will be sort of sort of flicks up at the end. So yeah, the idea behind this is it's when it attacks.
The Dart of the Gardens.
Oh god, Darts of the Gardens. Hi, Chib. How you doing? I'm feeling a little. I draw a cat in blankets for you, and Kara as well. You get to share. Okay.
And now we have an elephant who is growing into their tusks. Or maybe their tusks are growing into them.
It's Pokemon, so probably the latter. I feel like this should be a bit more elaborate because Pokemon.
Well, I mean, if this is a early stage, those ones are usually simpler.
True. I'm feeling bad. Oh no. Well, I hope it gets better soon. Hope things stop feeling bad. Fruit's murdering you. Oh dear. Have you asked it to stop? Probably.
Probably didn't listen.
Probably not.
Though speaking of murder, weird tangent, I know. Apparently, well, I say apparently, I know they did. I've seen through the whole game. There was a game Sonic game released for April Fools.
Yes.
That's a murder mystery. And
yes.
it's not even a jokey thing. I mean, in a certain sense, it's a joke, but it is a legitimate murder mystery game, and it's actually very well made. So it's like I don't know who did this, but you went very hard for something that's an April Fool's joke.
It's Sega. That's an official thing. They put out an official game in which Sonic's dead. Tried asking it to stop it. It refused. Now you've been living off medicinal licorice and tea with honey. Oh no. The worst of fates.
I mean, I would agree, but also I don't like licorice, so.
Oh, that's fair, yeah.
That's one of the things Dad always knows no one else will eat his stuff with, because the rest of us look at that and go, ah, gross.
Yeah, that used to be my granddad. Every birthday he'd get licorice. Like, that's his.
Because no one else wants it.
Jeeb does. If we get licorice, send it to Jeeb.
I mean,
Oh,
does
and
she
Kira.
want the licorice, or is she just eating the licorice because
Oh, yeah,
Throw
that's
is
a good
killing
point.
them?
Yeah, Jeeb, you actually like licorice.
Because there's plenty of things that I have consumed, not because I wanted to, but because I had to.
Probably something I should have ascertained before. Dutch, of course you like licorice. I seem to remember, because I remember you talking to Plamps about the Dutch food shop and there being various types of licorice and all that. So I'm not too happy with
I
the
mean, it's
proportions
never
of
good
this
to
one.
assume. I'm sure there's some Swedish people out there who just really do not like chocolate.
That's fair. I mean, I'm trying to think of an English equivalent. I mean, I don't like tea, but we didn't really make that. We just stole it.
Stole it, added milk to it, and then people in East Asia went, "Hey, actually, that's a good idea," and then added more things in with the milk.
We set the trend, and then other people did it better. That's pretty much the history of Britain.
I mean,
We came up with a basic idea, and then everyone else did it better.
I feel like that's the history of food. Like, a lot of food culture seems to be one person looking at another person's food and going, "I like that, but I can perfect it."
Always play with recipes. Food is not finished. We haven't solved food. Your tastes will vary. Make things based on your mouth. The candy aisle where 60% of the stuff is licorice, which is a lot of semi-pharmaceutical shops. Interesting.
I like the phrase semi-pharmaceutical.
Pharmaceutical.
Ah, there it is.
I'm here with the bad jokes.
No, I think I know what you're talking about. Like, we have a similar thing here in the US where yes, there's a pharmacy there, but they're not like, it's mostly a dispensary, and then the majority of the store is like, here's like soap and bandages and shampoo.
Yeah,
which
we have like
is not something you need a pharmacist for.
We have things like Boots and Superdrug over here. They're the two big semi-pharmaceutical things.
No, it's even fancier.
Got to add in random patterns. That's all modern Pokemon. Just have random patterns.
I mean, a lot of older Pokemon have random patterns too, now that I think about it. You can't even really say things like, oh, they've gotten smoother over time, because you've also got some where you look at it and go, that's just all a bunch of zigzag jaggeds, including I
Was it?
can't
Oh,
remember
Misty.
its name, but there's a dragon type that you look at it and it looks like it was drawn by a small child.
It's locked.
Like just the epitome of crayon drawing of Godzilla.
Oh, it was Jack. Oh, and that's why the lock thing. You got jacked from the harvest. Jack from the harvest, and then you tried to get it in the locked, and it didn't happen. Luck of the draw.
The window's locked. I won't be able to open it.
There we go. Right, let's get some quick little color in here. And by color, I mean shading. And by shading, I mean block color. And by block color, I mean block shading. What do you call it? Black and white color? I call it
I
shading,
don't
but
know.
it's a different thing.
Because I know, like, when you're doing black and white, you do a thing where it's like we're changing the values here, essentially, where some areas are darker than others, but
I guess, yeah, value is probably the better word for it.
the circus of values, with the value element.
Oh no. We're not in the circus of value. Don't worry. Oh, I tried to do it without that. Funny. That's fine.
Yeah, we don't want this little guy in the circus of value. That'd be mean. It doesn't deserve that. It's too pure.
I kind of want to add the pattern to its ears as well, but this'll do. Simple enough. Oh, Chrissy's here. Not in chat. Oh no, Christy is here. Yay!
Hello.
Hello!
I'm sorry.
No worries. I do not demand attendance records. You must be here on time. Sign the form. I said I wasn't going to shade this. But it has a little blush. There you go. Little blush. There we go. How you doing, Christy? You alright?
Yeah. I took a late nap, woke up, went shopping, and panicked when I saw the time when I got home.
You don't have to panic. It's fine.
Yeah, we've just got one of the random name generators from the fantasy name generator site, and we're rolling random Pokemon names
Random Pokemon names.
as opposed to the random Pokemon descriptions. Now it's just a name, and you have to go from there.
I'm going to work it out yourself.
I can see what conclusion you landed with there.
Yeah. It's a little elephant whose tusks get big.
Big.
And then you have a big, angry, evolved form that I won't draw because all my favourite Pokemon are small and cute. There you go,
I mean, that's
Giraffant.
valid. That's valid.
Big.
There, Abab.
Nothing wrong with liking a small, cute Pokemon.
Who would like to go next?
I mean, I'm probably behind, so it should be me, I guess.
No. We've only done one drawing. It's fine.
Okay.
We talked about spirographs for a bit.
Oh, I joined the
Yeah, I
random
made.
thing.
I sort of got a spirograph to work on the tablet.
Nice.
A little wonky because the rings kept moving and slipping, but works.
But yeah, if you want to draw, Christy, you can do
Yes.
the next one. Cool.
I want
You want to draw? Let me give what would be fun. This actually works as a pun. This is a fun one. Can you draw for me the Pokemon Drumming Bird?
Hummingbird. Hummingbirds are those with the real thin, long beaks, right?
They do.
Let me get a ref up of a
Ooh,
drumming
we're
bird.
gonna base it off of an actual birdie.
Oh yeah.
Although I guess that makes sense. Most of the birds are based off of. Well, okay. Most of the birds that aren't legendary beasts are based off of an actual animal of some sort.
or lawn flamingos, which is based off of flamingo, yeah. But
I forgot. I was about to say, have you met pheasant? But yeah, they did one up it with long flamingo.
I mean, have you seen pheasants? They also look very crazy.
Yeah, exactly like the Pokemon pheasant. Isn't it called pheasant with like a
Yeah, unpheasant, I think, is what the Pokemon's
Unpheasant.
called, or something like that.
Unpheasant.
And
Well, it's not a
like,
pheasant.
oh, this
it's
thing has crazy plumage, and it's like, yes, because it's a pheasant.
But then you got something like Zapdos.
Yeah, well,
things
like I
like
said, barring the legendary birds,
Yeah.
the just normal ass you find this in the field type birds are usually based off of something.
Chatot?
It's a
I
parrot.
guess it's kind of parody thing. It does just look straight up like a musical note.
Yeah, but there's, and I don't remember what they're called, but there is a type of small parrot where it's got like a bunch of different shading all around, and it's got like a little black cappy type thing with its plumage. They're really cute. Really loud though, because parrots.
Yeah.
Like if you ever want an animal that has the mindset of a toddler and just likes to scream a lot, birds.
Apparently it's named. It's based.
Mom made mistake of getting a parrot, and it's loud over there.
Parrots be loud.
It's a safety mechanism. Basically, they sit in the trees and they scream to make sure that no one else has been hurt by something yet.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I love the idea of just walking down the street and just hearing people shouting out their windows, "I'm fine." Yeah, apparently the
It looks like a drumstick. It's not really working.
I kind of get it.
Long burp.
Problem is, drawing a drumstick in and of itself is quite awkward.
Yeah.
It always ends up looking a
yes,
bit weird.
it not look awkward. But a chubby drumstick is a challenge.
I mean, but you could also just do, hey, it's drumstick.
Yeah.
No, not that sort of drumstick.
Oh, hey, it's drumstick.
I did during the when I was doing that big old "What's your favorite Pokemon" thing. I did see. I can't remember what generation it was. There is a Pokemon that just has a drum kit. It just comes with a giant drum kit.
Oh yeah, it's a monkey.
I don't know why.
Oh yeah, the Ribbabroom or whatever it's called.
Rillaboom. Okay, so its basic form, it has a drum, which is slightly more reasonable. But I'm guessing it has a Mega Evolution or something where it just oh yeah.
I think that's the not the current gen, but the previous gen, and that the Gigantamax things, that was the gimmick there.
Oh, Gigantamax.
Because they sort of kicked Mega Evolution off to the side and
as presumably they did Gigantamax for the next one.
no, actually it was they had Mega Evolutions, and then the one after that, the gimmick was Z moves, which from an implementation standpoint sort of made sense because that meant they didn't have to, because the Mega Evolutions was individual Pokemon based. There were only a few Pokemon that could do it, and you had to have a certain item equipped and you couldn't do anything else with it. But with the Z moves, it was move type based. So if you had the crystal for that type of move, you could activate the Z move for that type. And it didn't matter which Pokemon it was. You could only use it like a couple of times during battle, so it was limited still. But now you could use your super moves with like anything. Which led to a very funny thing because every Z move, so every move has a Z move form. And some of them it's just like, oh, all of these moves in this category have sort of a similar Z move thing. And then there was Splash, which its Z move was essentially a souped up swords dance. And that sort of affected the meta for a while.
I could imagine.
How do Pokemon?
But yeah, from like a fan standpoint, I like Mega Evolutions. They're neat, they're cool looking. But from a game battling standpoint, the Z moves made more sense. And I guess Gigantamax was just sort of a way of sort of combining those two. We have your Mon gets bigger and more powerful, and some of them we came up with funny designs for just for funsies, but you can use it with any Pokemon you like. But you can only use it for a limited point in battle, so sort of the best of both worlds there. But it will probably get thrown to the wayside because, save for things like eggs existing and double battles, pretty much every single gimmick has been thrown to the wayside one generation later.
Yeah. Yes, Chibi does have a point. I can't really complain that one Pokemon gets a drum kit when another one just gets a gun. So Gen 9 already doesn't have it anymore. What?
So Gen 9 already doesn't have Gigantamax. Cool.
Oh, yeah,
great.
Gigantamax, yeah.
Thanks, Pokemon Company. You come up with neat ideas and then you just pitch them into the bin.
Terraforms. Is that the hat? I remember there being a hat. Puppy. Pup's still in Cone, right? Till Tuesday, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be kind of sad because he's picked up some neat tricks with it with his ball, where he just balances it inside his cone. So it's gonna be hard for him to play ball now.
No.
See, that's always real funny to me how quickly things will adjust to having other things on them.
Yeah.
Because like there was, and I don't remember who did it, but there was a sort of site study done where they were basically checking like, okay, well, how flexible are human eyes when it comes to like focus and stuff. And so they took a bunch of American football players, and it's like, right, we're gonna throw the ball back and forth, sort of check how well you catch this and throw this on just baseline. And then they gave them a bunch of goggles that essentially took what they were looking at and just like flipped everything upside down. And understandably, they got worse at catching the ball when they put the glasses on account of the fact that nothing looks right.
Yeah.
But what was interesting is after a while, they started catching the ball again.
Nice.
So it's like, hang on now. Hang on.
What's
Going on there?
It's a fantasy world.
Yeah. Look, it's if you phrase it from the perspective of like, oh, you put on the special goggles and you see upside down, and oh, magically, this actually works out fine. But if you phrase it in a different way of like, hey, you can still throw balls and catch them in Australia, then everyone's fine with that.
I think I've made a drumming bird.
Yeah.
Very
Let's tap-
Pokemon-y, but
I like the eye gives it like Natu and Xatu vibes.
ooh, it's
This feels
got
like
vibes. Yay!
It's got vibes. It's got Pokemon vibes.
That's a
Natu
success.
and Xatu are very bird shaped. I do like them.
Yeah.
That's
I
such a bird.
Hi, miss. Welcome to the Pokemans. This is Drumming Bird.
Tap, tap.
Tap, tap. And then go tap.
And a drum on your head. Yes, he's very orb.
Yeah, Natu's orb. Can hold in egg cup.
Oh, it's kind of both cute and. Ugh.
I'd say you need a big egg cup, but if you're doing things with Pokemon eggs, those are pretty big anyway.
Yeah, good point.
Ostrich
what is-
egg cup. Do those exist?
Let's look.
I mean, I know you can eat ostrich egg. It's just that you can't just go buy one at the supermarket.
All I found are cups made of ostrich eggs.
Oh, right.
That also makes sense because they're fairly thick in comparison to like chicken eggs.
Hmm.
On account of the fact of being very large.
Yeah, I didn't really want to see an ostrich actually laying an egg. Google images.
Oh, God. Thanks, Google.
Thanks, Google. Ragdoll,
Yes, my
would
turn.
you like an prompt from Christy?
I've got some good ones. They're all good.
Good ones.
How about a kingray?
Ooh,
As in stingray.
but king.
But king.
Kingray.
Yeah.
Kingray. Wouldn't an ostrich egg cup just be a cereal bowl? Could be.
Depends on how much cereal you want, I guess.
Like that. It's more like a goblet. Sort of thing. They get fancy with it. This was evidently a thing at some point.
I mean,
Very-
eating mummies was also a thing at some point, so
Yeah.
all things considered,
Painting
this
with
is sort of
mummy.
preferable.
Yeah, painting with mummies. Mummy brown. We've done some things to mummies,
Yeah.
which we shouldn't have. Oh, right, the egg cup for an ostrich egg would just be a cereal bowl. I get it, yeah. Why have a specific utensil when you have a bowl that will do just as well? It would have to be like, I mean, yeah, different bowls have different shapes, I guess, but it would have to have quite a sort of steep curvature at the sides. Which I have bowls like that, but most of my bowls aren't. Oh, I scrolled down again and saw the ostrich again. No, don't do that. Close that. Go away.
Yeah, because I mean, you've also got like different sizes of bowl depending, because we've got some bowls that are here that are sort of small, and then others that are larger or wider or deeper. I've got a couple of bowls that are sort of like bowl plates, where they're most of it is flat and wide, but then it's got the lip so that you could put liquids in it if you really needed to.
Yeah. The 1800s were a wild and very unhygienic century, yeah. Yeah, don't worry, Chief, it's one of those, it's 1800s, the 19th century. Because, obviously, the first century was, the first 100 years before we got to 100. Or I guess including 100. No, hang on, was it? Yes, it does include 100, because, like, for example, the year 2000 was still the 20th century. 21st century started in
I
2001.
don't know if we technically have a year 0.
We don't. That's why it's...
I want to say the numbering system just goes from 1 BC to 180.
It does, yeah, which is
I don't know if there's an
frustrating.
actual year 0.
But it does make working out centuries AD and BC a lot easier, because you just start at 1 either way. If there's a 0, which century does the 0 come in? First century BC, first century AD, you know? But yeah, there is no year 0 in the calendar. I think we're using the Gregorian calendar still. And so the first century was from the year 1 to 100. Second century was from 101 to 200, so on and so forth. 20th century, 1901 to 2000. So the millennium did not move us into the 21st century. But that's now 23 years ago, and I'm old. I'm talking as if this is a relevant thing. Did Americans here eat eggs and soldiers? Do you know what eggs and soldiers? Eggy soldiers?
Is that like egg and toast?
Specific type, specific way of preparing the toast.
Is that like French toast?
No.
Or like toast sticks or something like that?
Yeah, I'm going to take it as the fact that you're asking questions that's not a common thing, or at least where you're from.
Or if it is, we call it something different.
Oh, yeah. It's just, yeah, you egg and humans in camo. No, you paint the egg green. It's just the sort of runny boiled egg, and you dip slices of toast in it. And the slices of toast are called soldiers for some reason.
If we do, it's not done that much around here. We'll do... There's like sunny side up eggs, where it's like fried egg, but it's still pretty runny, and you'll dip toast in the runny bit, but it's not like a hard boiled egg.
I should when I say sliced toast, I mean like you toast a bit of bread and then you slice it into thin strips. Because I just realized that sliced bread
sounds so delicious. We have just boiled eggs in egg cups where the yolk is runny, and we eat it with a spoon next to a piece of toast. Never thought of cutting up the pieces of toast and dipping in it. That's just genius.
Dip it.
Yeah, so I've dipped toast in egg yolk before, but like I said, it's usually in like fried egg form, so it's flat. I think the only time I've seen like soft boiled egg type stuff where it's you could probably put it in a little cup and deal with it is like ramen places.
Salted butter on the toast. Always got to have a little bit of butter on the toast.
Over here we have something called rundstykker, which is like fancy ass morning bread that has the same nutritional value as a cheap piece of toast, but we buy it at overpriced anyway because that's what we eat for breakfast. With soft-boiled eggs and just a little bit of salt for the eggs, and that's our breakfast.
Nice. Just like Christy, if there's soft-boiled eggs, it's on the side.
You
gotta dip it.
That's why you've seen those gadgets with so many egg gadgets. There's one where you cut the top of the egg with this little round knife. That's for that.
Because you don't want to irregularly cut eggshell. Honestly.
Oh, it's like a competition to use your knife properly to like cut it perfectly without getting any shell.
Or make a runny omelette and put it on bread.
Ooh.
That's quite something.
Like where it's runny on the inside.
I've never had a runny omelette.
It's delicious.
I should specify at this point, like, I'm not massive on eggs.
Mm.
They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them, but I've never really gone, oh, I fancy an egg.
I sometimes just eat scrambled eggs or boiled eggs as a snack.
Well, it's a convenient thing.
I used to never be able to eat the yolk, only the whites.
Really?
Yeah. I heard a lot of
See,
children
I
bland.
regularly do breakfast for dinner, and it's like we're just gonna make ourselves some scrambled eggs omelet type thing and wrap it up in a tortilla
Oh,
and
that
eat it
sounds.
that way.
Mm.
You all
Sounds-
do like rice and eggs in a burrito, right? Like a breakfast burrito.
Oh, okay. You've given me too many ideas. I haven't tried any of these things.
Yeah, but a lot of the time it's like potato chunks in instead of rice.
Oh,
Well, it's a starch of some description, you know.
that's a whole ass breakfast.
Or dinner, or lunch. They're smiling.
Sustenance. Ooh. I like this king.
They're coming to say
Let's see
hello.
Bill.
I figure that for the most part the stingrays in Pokemon are just very derpy looking.
Is there a
Also-
thing
And
like
if this was
Pokemon?
not a derpy looking thing, it'd be very disappointing.
There's Mantike, and then whatever it evolves into. That's a big old. Well, it's a little ray, but it
Oh,
evolves into a bigger
right.
one.
It's chunky.
Mantine, Mantine. But
Man-
when you have a memory.
Mantine was the first one, and then Mantike is the teeny one, and they're just sort of little derpy looking things.
The dark
Well,
of the
Mantine
Mantine.
is fairly large, but still very derpy looking. Like,
It's
look at that
better
face.
in the Mantine.
It's
That's-
going.
That's not a serious face.
Yeah.
It's trying
That's a
very
face
hard to
of-
make a serious face.
That's the
Don't
face
laugh,
of
don't
I
laugh.
made a joke and I'm waiting for you to laugh, and I'm trying to not laugh because I think my joke is very funny.
And their
It's
friends
ep-
like, that wasn't funny. That wasn't funny. You can surf on them in the Sun and Moon games. Nice. They feel ideally suited for surfing on, right?
I think they can also learn to fly.
Brilliant.
Which is
I
fun.
was actually, with your picture, I was actually imagining that this is the view when you look up. That this thing is flying down at you.
Ooh, and then imagine the belly of it with its little feetsies. It just those little weird feetsies.
Well, now we've got clouds. There we go. Flying in the air.
Isn't this a boss in Demon Souls? I don't know much about
mean,
Demon Souls, but I'm pretty sure there's
Potentially. I don't know that much about Demon Souls either.
the only reason I think I know that is because in order to fight it, because it's in the sky, you get a sword that just fires big old something or others. And that reappeared in Dark Souls 3. They just brought it back because hey, we wanted to. That's the only reason I know. Hello, hi Miss. This is cute. This is Miss Kingray. They're coming. They're coming to see you. They're flying down.
King of the clouds.
Yeah. Hi, Oobs. Welcome to Kingray.
You all have seen those little feetsies that stingrays have, right?
No.
Cute little baby feet. Look up a baby stingray's belly. It's amazing. They're aliens.
I mean, ah.
Yeah. That's why I was like, imagine looking at those up in the sky.
That looks like a different Pokemon. What was that the way? One of the weird legendaries. The carbuncle.
Can you get a whole character sheet Ragdoll where we see the belly?
Yeah, can you do a quick turnaround of this?
Well, I mean, I have some space. I can move this over.
Yeah.
Myself some room.
I didn't know about that little feet.
Move stuff in the sky over.
I'm sorry about all of the noise.
All right, now we get to draw a pancake.
Pancake.
I didn't really know of a YouTuber who recently got a blanket in the shape of a stingray and they named it Pancake.
Ah!
So that's perfect.
I tried to fit the word king into pancake, but it came out as pankink, and I don't think that's quite what I was aiming for.
No, I don't think that's quite what you were aiming for either.
How do you always find those words?
My brain, every time anybody says anything that isn't like a cliche, my brain immediately tries to make a pun out of it. That's just how my brain works. Or a spoonerism, or something like that.
What's a spoonerism?
It's when you swap the first sort of sound or letter of two words. So the spoonerism of spoonerism is unispism.
I'll stick to Danish, thanks.
Pokemon would be Mokapon.
We don't have any words for puns.
It's just named after a person, the Reverend Spooner. He used to do a lot of them. So it's just called a spoonerism.
Well, they chose a good name for it.
I like it when people have very specific words. I was learning Dutch. Still going at it. And I've come across the first word that doesn't have an obvious equivalent in English because it's so very specific from an English perspective, which is a very modern one as well. It's pinner, which means to pay with a debit card. Very specifically, to pay with a debit, not a credit card, a debit card. Because the sentence I got afterwards was a debit card and a credit card are different things.
They had to make sure you knew.
Yes. Pin pass, I think. Debit card. Something like that. That's a Dutch word. Pin it. I quite liked it because it's one of those ones where I have to type it out in English and it takes bloody ages.
It's an annoyingly pretty word for something that costs one money.
Yeah.
Oh, see, and that's sort of funny to me because unless card readers are significantly different in the UK, which they might be, I don't know. You use the same card reader for reading a credit card as a debit card, and it's usually the same companies that are manning them.
It depends. Like there's different companies have different options for if you want to have, like, for example, here we have Dankort, which is Danish card, Dan card, which is very old school. Most people don't have them anymore. But you can get a machine that can read Dankort and like every other international card, or you can get one that only reads Dankort, and that's much cheaper. That's just one thing I know of. There's probably more instances.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it might be because of different banking regulations, because God knows those aren't the same from country to country. But like here in the United States, debit cards and credit cards are two separate things. So credit card is a line of credit with a credit card company, and your debit card is connected directly to your bank account. However, the people who are producing the debit cards and are like managing the like back end of how they work are the same credit card company. So like I have a debit card for my checking account. It's got a little symbol on there that's like, hey, this is a Visa card.
Oh yeah.
So any place that accepts Visas will take this debit card.
Yeah, same. In Belgian, Dutch, you say betalen met bankcontact. Yeah, interesting. Betalen is the same. Yeah, in the UK we say please work, please work, please work.
I'm trying not to see the unfortunate shapes right now.
It's nature.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Nature is beautiful. Don't
Don't judge. It's
It's
also actually
Tobin's.
a torpedo right now.
Need to,
Just
What's that?
see it as a torpedo.
I needed to get a general shape of where the thing went in, and now I'm gonna give it little feetsies.
Feetsies!
Little fits. Oh, that was another just random Dutch word that I had that is going on my pile of favourite Dutch words alongside boterham and burgemeester, which is winkelwagen. It's just well, what we would call a trolley, shopping cart.
Oh,
Just
I
means
thought it was
shop wagon, I guess is one. But yeah, winkelwagen. It's like
Yeah.
That's fun. I like that one.
I thought because Winkel, I thought it was something to do with angles. Because Winkel in Danish is an angle, and Dutch and Danish sometimes just have the same words,
Yeah.
like skildpad and skildpadde.
In Belgium, we just say car. That's fair. It's quite a spectrum of lengths. So there's the car, we say trolley. There's shopping cart, or just cart.
Too many
Winkelwagen. It's
words.
like big old, yeah.
Get a descriptive word and stick to it.
A carrot, like a little cart.
Oh,
Language is imprecise and ever evolving.
yeah.
How dare you, man? I mean, at this point, surely it's two pairs.
I mean, if it came flying at your face, you might just say, "Oh, bollocks!" right before it hits you.
Yeah. What? I'm observing.
This view of nope. A doggo is on the desk.
Doggo. Hello.
Knocking things over. This view of the stingray does make me feel like it can do a bomb attack, like a torpedo, just nose diving.
That's what it's doing. It's coming down to see you. Or it could just like fly over you and then just stop floating and just fall. Like gently, like a
Pancake.
parachute over your head.
Pancake fan.
To go thwomp.
You just floop. Now it's on your head.
And because of the positioning of the crown, it looks like you're wearing the crown and a bedsheet.
And now you're just Breath of the Wild.
And now you're just flattened by this giant
that.
friendly sky pancake.
Oh,
I
hey,
want to hug
hug.
you. No.
It's a bird.
Well-
It's a plane. No, it's a kingray. Flop.
No, it's a.
I'm glad I gave you this one.
It's good. Yeah, right. It's me again. I guess I had one from. Christy, do you have another one?
Yeah. This one is gonna be hard, but I really want to see what you come up with. Gladiacell, like gladiator and gazelle. It
I
sounds
mean,
so
just
cool.
just have a Litwick and call it that. No.
Yeah, that's my Litwick. It's called Gladiazelle. Okay, so right.
I mean, it's not a horse. Kinda.
It's horse adjacent.
It's hoofy.
I mean, they're Pokemon. It doesn't have to have good anatomy.
Hmm. I mean, look at bubble butt deer.
Look at what now?
The deer with the bubble butt.
The what now?
The giant ass deer. What's it called?
I understand the concept.
Antler? Is that what you're talking about? The one
Does Stantler have a big bum?
Yeah, Stantler.
It's got a very like big tail-looking thing in the back.
Yeah, but it's kind of been internet has decided it's butt.
Right.
It's just funnier. Oh, this is looking so good already. Yes. It's just the kind of shapes I wanted.
So we went from flat friend to this might just straight up kill you if you look at it wrong.
Ah, so cool. It's like what's it called? Not gracious, but like what's it called? Dang it.
Cheese.
Graceful. There it was. It's graceful and Spartan.
That's a little big. Me? What? Who? Oh, Bear's asking if people want tea, and Mrs. going, yes!
Sending tea through the internet.
It's chamomile fine. I have a stain on my desk. I have a.
Don't you call your dog that?
Well, he does make a lot of stains. Apropos of getting rid of my carpet. But I took up oil painting without covering up my desk, thinking I would be very careful. I have to be strategic with where I put things on my desk so you can't see.
This means your desk has character now.
Yes.
Yeah. Expensive character.
I'm trying to play with shapes here, but unfortunately those shapes are... Also, this is a very aggressive gazelle.
Yeah, it's mad.
I mean, the one thing I know about hooved animals, they might be prey beasts, but they are down to just mess up your shit.
Yeah.
Nope, not gonna work.
Also,
Yeah,
I know there's at least a couple of deer, horsey type legendary Pokemon that are all like, we're gonna fight you in the back parking lot and the front parking lot, this other parking lot.
What
I mean, these are all
else?
fighting types. Yeah, there's like a grass deer and a rock deer and a steel deer and a water deer. And they are all down to just kick your ass.
And just a deer.
Gladiators, are you ready? You will go on my first whistle. I was about to say, did anybody else have gladiators? But I definitely know for a fact that in America it's called American Gladiators. So
yeah, yeah, it is.
I don't remember us having it. We have like we did those what are those shows called where you have is that American Gladiator? You have that long course that's really hard to do with a lot of foam, and you have to do all sorts of crazy shit.
there's a variety of programs that can. I'm thinking of one called Ninja Warrior. As a similar thing.
Yep, we have that or had that kind of thing, but not the Gladiator thing. No.
I remember watching a lot of Ninja Warrior.
They also show Ninja Warrior here too. I think there was one episode, and I haven't seen the entire episode. I've only seen this clip because basically everyone on the internet was just kind of like, "This is so funny. Everyone needs to see it." Someone did the course in a T-Rex suit,
Yeah.
and the commenters just sort of went with it.
Yes.
Then they commented it, did the commentary as if it was actually a T-Rex going through the course.
Oh, that's good commentator. Also, but
Ooh, yeah, that works.
this has got a booty.
It's got a booty, and I was trying to work out a way of like adding a pattern. I'm sure people will correct my historical accuracy, but trying to work out a sort of pattern that is reminiscent of those sort of
Yeah.
not pleated skirts, the sort of leather strip sort of skirt things that I always associate with Romans and stuff like that, which are probably wrong, but
The Halloween costume that's been drilled into our brains.
Jimmy, no, look.
She was gonna come in here and make it historically accurate.
I mean, I know for the most part they didn't really wear togas back then. Togas were sort of like fancy wear.
Oh yeah, they were a pain. They were a pain to put on.
They're a pain to keep on. And I know when it comes to their armor, they didn't have like pants as we think of them. They had separate like leg braces. Bracers, I should say, not braces.
Like little knee-high socks.
So you got the sandals and you got the leg bracers.
Wait, sandals, leg bracers. It's the 80s with leg warmers. History repeats itself.
History repeats in different and weird ways. Sorry, I remembered I'm doing a Pokemon. Got to
This is
observe the Pokemon styles.
And then just make it up because God knows that's what Pokemon is doing.
Making up less and less.
I think more and more the last game, the designs are just like, yeah, whatever. Just give a cute pink marshmallow a hammer. Why not?
Oh yeah,
This is a car,
kilts.
sure.
Traditional kilts are like bunch of meters of fabric, but also usually a traditional kilt isn't just the bottom part; it's also like the top as well.
Oh yeah, it's the
So
whole
it's
thing.
like part of this is covering my nether regions, and then part of this is wrapped around my top. Because
I've seen people putting those on.
Cool.
It's an event.
Now I'm just mesmerized by your lines. Oh, man.
Made.
Although at least with the kilts being a whole bunch of fabric that covers lower body and upper body, that sort of makes sense because it's like it's chilly. You use a lot of wool to keep yourself warm.
It is, I feel this is a non-controversial statement. Pretty nippy up in Scotland.
Bit nippy.
Little bit nippy.
Y'all watch, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, Karolina Chebrowska. She's a historic costumer on YouTube. She's made a video where she, in very cold winter in Poland, with snow and everything, she puts on historic clothes that's wool and fur and stuff, a whole historical garb, and it just looks like she's wearing a pretty coat and stockings, and to see if it could keep her as warm as her modern technologically advanced I'm sorry,
This is cute.
clothes. And of course it could.
Eee.
Well, I mean, yeah, we've had a lot of time to figure out what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And back then, it was a little more important than am I going to get nippy on my skiing holiday?
There was a study done on. Yeah, it's like either this works or you don't survive. Which is a very good incentive to make sure it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a study done on some traditional Inuit clothing, so north in Canada, way north, and it turns out, hey, this material and this style of putting it together is incredibly effective at keeping you from, not dying out in the cold.
Yeah. And
Also,
then
hilariously, they had sunglasses.
sunglasses?
Yeah. I mean, not like they weren't made of glass. Basically what it was is it was a piece of bone that fit over your eyes and that you put little slits in where your eyes were. And that sort of reduced the amount of light that could get in, which meant that you did not get snowblind from the glare of the sun on the snow and ice.
Nice.
That's amazing.
And they work very well.
I believe some of them also had some metal tools, despite not having capacity to smelt metal. Because, hey, occasionally, meteorites fall. And it's pretty easy to find a big old black charred bit of metal on a otherwise completely white landscape. And then you just chip off bits of sharp metal, and I was like, this is brilliant!
Yeah, but I mean, even if they didn't smelt, like, having some metal tools around isn't that surprising. There was a lot of trade that happened all up and down the Americas.
True.
Like, you sit there and go, why are these seashells here? These are from These are from the south end of South America. How did they get all the way up here? Well,
we wanted to confuse
around.
some archaeologists.
We did it specifically to annoy you. And see, that sort of stuff always confuses me because it's like, the Silk Road is a very well-known thing across the Eurasian continent. Do you think other people didn't do similar things in other places? Come on now.
I guess it's like vast amounts of bodies of water and harsh environments that people assume stopped us, but usually didn't.
Yeah, well, and you've got a similar thing, like, a lot of the Pacific Islands were trading with each other, and they're not even connected by land masses. You have to get a boat.
Yeah. People forget about boats.
What is Doggo up to?
Doggo is trying to get up, but is scared of the disc's height.
Oh. It's very big. It's a very small pup. In a big human world.
Except earlier today, I tried to get him off the disc by keeping his bed a meter away, so he couldn't jump on it. And he did. He just took a leap. But now he's scared.
No.
Scared little puppa.
Didn't have the pattern here because I'm bad.
Do all the shading before we get to drawing any of the weird skirt thing. Now the question is, will putting the skirt on it make it look less naked or more naked?
It's
Yeah,
just
I
a
don't
pattern in
know.
the fur. It's fine. We should probably put more patterns in the fur because it's Pokemon, but hey, what are we gonna do?
I don't know why, but it kind of, with the shading, ended up having monkey vibes.
Oh yeah, maybe the sort of the area around the eyes and
Hmm.
all that. Perhaps.
I'm sorry I gave you something so complicated, but you nailed it.
No, it turns out on these streams, if I just stick to real big, simple shapes, I can actually make something I like.
Sometimes
Yeah,
restraint
and
help.
that works for a lot of Pokemon. Big, simple shapes.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm.
That's why I went for it.
Make and blob.
I mean, if you go too big and too simple shape, then you just get like Electrode.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or
Which is
Ditto.
the Pokemon, so you're correct.
Exactly, yeah. You end up with a Pokemon, so you're all right. Anyway, what was this one called? Good
Gladiazel.
Gladiazel.
And your Gladiazel.
I've actually done two things I'm pleased with on this stream. That's the first.
Eee.
Gladiazel and Growlithe. They're friends.
Two different vibes.
Very, very different vibes. But they're friends. They help each other.
I mean, you
Yes.
gotta have Pokemon that have different vibes.
That's Growlithe. Pokemon can be any. Well, now I'm going to scroll up through chat and read a bunch of stuff. But while we're waiting, Christy, you have a ragdoll prompt?
Yeah, that makes sense.
What did I miss?
Okay, here's one.
This
So,
tube just insulting
Aquatella.
archaeologists.
What, Tella?
Aquatella. I've put it in the Discord.
Just wet Nutella.
Maybe don't get your
No.
Nutella wet.
Fine.
It's not Nutella in like a little squirty jar thing.
I mean, if you have it in a little squirty jar instead of a jar that opens up, it'd probably keep it from like the oil drying out of it or something.
So, what animal is this?
Does it have to be an
It's-
animal? It's a Pokemon.
That's a good question. It's Pokemon. A good third of them aren't.
Same brain, Jib.
I might just go aqua.
But yeah, Aqua's water. Tella.
I was thinking of the I'm a Barbie Girl band. Because they did.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have some Pokemon that just look like this is a human shaped thing.
I mean, one of the people from Aqua had amazing hair. That could be a fun Pokemon. Okay, Doggo. Doggo. This is not this time. Goodbye.
Is it a plant? I'm trying to work out where the teller came from.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. There's that good hair.
Ooh.
I I'm looking at the reference pictures.
Ah, right. Oh, of Aqua.
It's the only thing I know. Oh, okay.
Look, miss, what is the point of history if we can't impose our own values on it? You know? I'm still trying to think of where Teller came from. Oh, hello. Okay, yeah, I'm just in the deer Stantler. Got something going on, isn't it?
I mean, to me, the Tella just sounds like, and maybe it's because it ends in the Ella, that it's just sort of a feminine ending to a word.
Mm.
Oris Rihanna 2008.
Now we've got a spiky. And watch how this gets built up.
That
the
speaks turtle to me. Spiky turtle.
there's Panatella. That's a cigar, apparently.
Let's not give the Pokemon a cigar.
The top of a musician's head, and you have a turtle shell.
Yeah, they gave Pokemon a gun. Why not let them smoke too? There's probably a like Don Pokemon with a big cigar or something.
I mean, Honchkrow is like a mafia bird, but I don't think it has a cigar.
I have no idea where this where the Ella came from, or Teller.
Well, we're making a nice turtle with it.
E.
E. I can already tell this is going to be a friend of Shuckle.
It's Shuckle's more spiky punk cousin. Oh, watch out. God, Shuckle is such a good design.
Shuckle's goth friend.
Shuckle are so silly looking, but I love them.
That's the why. They're silly.
Also, their gimmick in Gen 2 was sort of interesting, because if you gave them a berry to hold, and berries in Gen 2 were different. It was Gen 3 is where they sort of codified what the berries were and what you could do with them, and then it hasn't changed from there really. They keep changing the battle system, but there's other things that just stay there. It's odd. But yeah, in Gen 2 you could give Shuckle a berry, and if it traveled around with you, the berry would eventually liquefy and become berry juice.
Yeah. I've expanded my search to looking for things that end in Tella with 2 L's. There's Tarantella, which is a dance, which I believe
Oh.
when looking up is where I got Saltarello from as well. Also a type of dance.
Doggo is so determined he stole the back of my chair.
No! Doggo! That's useless without the rest of the chair. There's Skutella, which is a any kind of shield-shaped structure, usually on an insect or something. I feel like it's got a big old spiky shield for a friend here. Well, they have 2 heads. One of them's Barbie, one of them's Ken.
Yeah! That's perfect.
Patella is knee, and they got little swells on their knees. See, it all fits.
Yay!
Shuckle True, Electric Boogaloo. I found out where that was from the other day. Because this is one of those things that's just in the ether. I'm like, oh yeah, something too, Electric Boogaloo. There was a film. There was a Break-In, I think it was called, which is all about breakdancing. And then they did Break-In 2, Electric Boogaloo. And it's just the best name for a sequel, so everyone stole it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it myself, but yes, there was a movie. And yes, it's just sort of the best silly name, especially since there's been just so many sequels where you look at it and go, this was pointless.
Yeah. So they're just all Electric Boogaloo. In fact, actually, the first time I came across it was as a sort of not parody, but a variation on it. I also like how every time the dog barks, Christie's little avatar, their mouth opens, so it looks like you're barking. Yeah, I found it on an album, the second album of an artist called Dr. Steele, which they decided to call Eclectic Boogaloo. So I first heard it wrong. So first time I came across it, it was different. Aquatella. Look at them. They both deserve nose boobs. Make every movie better by making it an Electric Boogaloo. Yeah.
Sorry, it has to be the color of the hair. It's 90s one.
90s.
Very 90s, very spiky.
I would also like to point out that speaking of 90s, one of my random Pokemon was just Falco.
Falco?
Was that 90s or was that 80s? That might have been 80s, actually.
That might
Yeah,
be
that,
90s.
that was 80s, wasn't it? Right.
You know, I don't know, because with, like, especially in that sort of generation, like, there's a lot of things that came out in one area and then came out in another area at a different time. Not a lot of simultaneous. Because these days, a lot of games and movies and whatnot, it's like, oh, it's been released in such country, but also it's released in other countries as well, either dubbed or just subbed.
Okay, apparently Rock Me Amadeus came out in 1986, so it was the 80s. But well, I said worldwide hit in 1986, but you never know. Oh, there is also Falco from Star Fox, or Star Wing, as it was called here when I was a kid, because copyright. That's what he sounded like in the original SNES game. Should I play that on stream? I feel like I'll make people sick if I play that on stream. That game runs at a smooth 2 frames a second.
I remember being scared of the voices. Yeah, not that one, but the not the Animals Crossing sounding one.
There's one at the beginning of like. It's kind of
Oh, yeah.
and like sirens are blaring while it's going. It's quite sort of.
Mhm.
All of the sounds of that game are deeply embedded in my head. I have the sound font of it actually on my computer, so we can make music using the sounds of that game.
Heck yeah.
I did actually find somebody made a mod, or a bunch of people made a mod for the game that just comes with loads of new levels and music and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, brilliant, let's play that on stream. And then I found out that it's for a version of the ROM that I don't have. So, and I'm terrified of downloading things from the internet.
Mm.
But also, somebody actually released a legitimate game, which is very much inspired by the original Star Fox. So I might play that at some point.
If one could get a mod
Yeah.
that made the sounds of the original Star Fox in that game, then you'd be golden.
I'm kind of a fan of all of these new indie creators who were big fans of X game back in the 80s or 90s, going, you know what, I'm going to make this again, but with some of my own ideas. Because there's another set now. They've made they're making a second one. They've mostly made the second one. It's in like a beta state that people can buy and play, where it's like, hey, this is if you liked the 2D Mega Mans, this is essentially the 2D Mega Mans.
Nice.
So they're called 20XX and 30XX, I think.
Of course, it's 20XX. Yeah, 20XX. I've never heard
yeah,
of this.
if you like that 2D Mega Man platformer, run through and shoot things, and then fight a boss in a boss stage and collect powers. This is same idea, but legally distinct. And the Mega Man character is a girl. So you've got 2 player options. You've got the Mega Man character with like the Buster gun type thing, and then you've got the Ace character who's got the sword, and the sword is a dude, and the gun shooter person is a girl.
And following on from the traditions of 90s games, the female character is called Ms. Mega Man.
I think her name is Mia? Or Nina, something like that.
I'm done, by the way.
Hey! It's Aquatala! They now look like a fire
As
Pokemon.
offensive on the eyes as the 90s.
Yeah, it looks like a shiny.
Yeah, it has a weird color palette.
Yes. So yeah, Ragdoll. I have one for you. Presumably.
All right.
Here we go. You don't. Well, you can draw Falco if you want, but I'll give you a more interesting one. Okay, let's go with Crocobis.
Crocobis. I'm very tempted to just draw a hole in the ground with a crocodile peeking out.
Yeah, it's like a Diglett but a crocodile.
It's like it's the abyss with a crocodile in it.
I'm also gonna look
Actually,
up.
you know what? That does sound fun. Let's.
Why not? X Zodiac. That's the name of the game. What I'm thinking of. It actually came out. Oh no, it's early access. Very positive reviews. Yeah, I just like it sort of like, hey, we got better hardware now, but we do like that aesthetic. So let's see what we can do with a combination of both.
I mean, to be honest, that's a good idea in general, because we're running into the problem of, hey, doubling the amount of polygons isn't noticeable to the human eye anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Let's start focusing on art direction, please. Yay! Let's start doing some cool and interesting things with visuals. It goes a long way, promise.
Yeah, let's stop making everything fucking brown.
That was the PS3 era.
It's a thing. I never played Skyrim, but I really want to now because it's like so good and such a big adventure. But I can't make myself play it because it's just brown and a little bit green.
That's weird. I think of it as blue-gray. So...
I
This is
mean,
kind of
the
fun,
one good
interesting.
thing I will say about Skyrim is that Skyrim has been around long enough, and has been broken enough that many people have made mods to
Oh,
make
yeah.
it less broken and more playable.
Yeah, absolutely. There are plenty of, like, hey, let's add color to the game mods.
Ooh.
Yeah, I recommend
And
those.
if I remember correctly,
Call of Cthulhu.
again, PC version of Skyrim is so old and so modded that you don't even really need to know what you're doing, as it were. There is a software where it's like, this will be your mod manager for Skyrim.
People have overhauled that game entirely, and it's great.
People have made entirely different games inside of Skyrim.
Yeah, I did see actually there was an interesting little adventure map in Skyrim, and I was like, should I play that on stream? That seems kind of fun because it's just its
I'm
own
pretty
thing.
sure someone made Morrowind in Skyrim.
Oh yeah, they're doing that. They're making Morrowind and Oblivion in Skyrim. Skywind and Skyblivion. Yeah, Call of Cthulhu was everything is brown to the max. Yeah, I'm being shot at and everything is brown. But yeah, color people. I mean, to be fair, there is a game that I would like to make, hopefully at some point after I finish Chaos Chess, and that's also brown. But it's deliberately brown, so it's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, I could put color in it, I
but
suppose.
also,
Still
like,
brown and green.
you gotta make it so that people recognize what your thing is. And so, like, if there isn't something distinctive about it, no one's gonna remember.
It'll be brown in the same way that, like, Papers, Please is brown. You know what I mean?
Bwah, 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 bwah.
Yeah, right now it just sort of looks like a Muppet.
Oh, that's what it's singing.
I thought it was the sound to Papers, Please. I was
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, but I also
that
like
too.
the idea that that's what your friend is making.
You believe, little friend.
This upper jaw and lower jaw are not sized correctly, but I don't care enough to fix it.
It's a Pokemon. So long as you don't have, like, interlocking teeth that don't actually interlock, it's fine. That's a pet
I mean,
peeve
right now it
of
doesn't
mine.
have any teeth, but...
Yeah, exactly. You can avoid the problem altogether. Also, who's to say that they're not adjustable?
Pooch right now has lost half of his teeth and has an underbite. They're friends.
I mean, it's also not like I'm going to be making a 3D model of this, because it's not take. But Pokemon hasn't done a very good job about taking newer mons and translating them into a 3D style.
Which is interesting, because a lot of the newer Pokemon are designed to be in 3D.
Yeah, and then they make weird decisions, like whatever the heck was going on with Meowth. That was a bad call.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I learned recently about Long Meowth.
Long Meowth.
I'm a fan of that.
So it was Galar
tube.
Meowth, I think, the Viking one. if you look at its 2D art, it makes it look like, oh, it's Meowth, but it's really, really fluffy, like Poof Cat.
Oh, yeah.
And then you look at the 3D model, and it's like, no, they didn't decide to go Poof Cat. They decided to go, it has a beard.
Oh. Oh, yeah, no, I can sort of see that in the 2D art as well. It's sort of, there's
And
the overhang of
that was a decision someone made.
He's got a beard.
And in my opinion, it was a bad idea.
I like them.
But yeah, there's just, and I mean, that's not the only one. There's a lot of designs where I'm sitting here going, right, I'm not quite sure how you, why you can't seem to translate these to 3D well, considering this is supposed to be 3D games.
I was getting
But we've
references.
somehow
for,
managed it.
I was getting, oh my god, what is this? Sorry, Chibi just recommended I look up another Pokemon. And what is happening? What is this? What is this horrific tennis, golf ball, piano teeth monstrosity?
Oh my god.
Don't know. Gee, I blame you for this. I guess it's based on like the sort of filtery thing in a whale, maybe? So somebody's drawn fan art with that, I guess. But it just looks like piano keys. Also has a baby form, so toddle.
Yeah, see, that's one of the ones
that's
where
kinda
you look
cute.
at its 2D
Yeah.
art, and it's not all that bad. But then when they try and translate it to 3D, it's like, what the heck just happened here?
My little friend. I like them. They're good. As usual, I like the little one. Also, the mouth sort of swaps directions when it evolves. That's a bit strange. Anyway. Okay, I absolve you of blame, Jibby, for introducing me to that. You've now neutral. You draw Sloane's teeth as a logical chaos. That's fair. I mean, it's just Sloane can be a logical chaos. Nothing wrong with that. Illogical chaos is only wrong when it's not supposed to be. You live with neutral.
Oh, now I see it has a beard. Oh.
Got a big beard. It hides things in it, probably.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, and I can sort of get where the design comes from because it's supposed to be all Viking-like, and the beardy bit works with the evolution, but with Meowth base, it's like you should have just made this a very fluffy Meowth. Like,
Yeah, fluff it up.
Floof.
make it poof. Make it big poof.
Also, Ragdoll, you're drawing an SCP.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it is a bit.
It's the floor. It's the floor alligator.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Does anyone remember what SCP was the immortal alligator thing? Immortal reptile?
You mean the number? No.
I only remember a few numbers. 182 is the first one, right? The one with the blink thing.
I remember SCPs from horror games and Trophy.
093, I think, is Red Sea Object. I like that one. Because it's just like...
Object.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where it's like the way it's told. It's basically almost entirely told in supplemental, like, addenda. If you just read the article, there's nothing there, basically. It's just like, oh, okay, that's a thing, whatever, moving on. But there's just like an entire world made in the supplementary material. It's very, very neat. I was like, oh, that's what you can do with this format. That's clever.
Fun.
Scovillain. I'm guessing it's something to do with peppers.
So it
Oh, it is.
There's a model of a half man and a model of a red bottle cap. When I search for SCP-093.
Oh, might be the wrong one. Oh, hang on. No, the red. Hang on. SCP-093.
It seems they're connected.
That looks like a Mario villain.
Yeah, no, that's the one.
Creepy.
It is 093. Yes, red disc. The SCP itself is a red disc. Yeah, I like this little friend. He's going, hello. What you doing?
Like I'm
That's the
sorry,
final
Chris, but the thing you
stage.
showed on stream is a Mario villain. Like,
Oh,
I'm pretty
the
sure
pepper
I've seen
thing.
that in a Mario game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and Cheeps pointed out that's the final stage. Yeah, that feels like a mid-evolution. That doesn't feel like a final. I mean, it's got 2 heads. That usually means mid. There's going to be 3 eventually, surely. That's how it works in Pokemon. You can get up to 3. Pepper thing only has a baby form. Let's look it up. Scovillain. Capsicid. That's kind of... Oh, that little friend. I know that one. Is that a pepper? Is that supposed to be a pepper?
Peppa Pig?
No, a pepper. A green pepper. Tis Capsicid, yes.
It has a egg tooth.
Yeah, I don't look at it and go, oh yeah, peppers. I look at it and go, egg.
Is my Discord not refreshing? Hello? Why are you seeing these things?
Oh no, I'm sticking things on stream.
Oh, okay then.
I'll stick them in chat. Why not?
Thanks.
Let's get everybody involved.
My internet can't do both.
That's fair. There's Capsicid.
Oh, I love them. Have they got a eggshell on their head?
Yeah, see, it's just like hatched, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got, like I said, it's got the little egg tooth, and it's still got some of the egg on top of its head. But I think that's supposed to be like top of pepper.
Oh, right.
And it evolves into this.
Oh, I like the mischievous little feather. I don't like this. This is a Mario, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that's a Mario villain.
Well, you say Mario. Let me introduce you to my favorite Pokemon.
I'm looking forward to it. What? Square marshmallow with what?
Which this is just Mario. Like this is.
It's redesigning Toad. What's it supposed to be?
It's a Pokemon. It's a Pokemon called Neckley, apparently.
Is it a sugar cube?
I think it's salt.
Oh.
So like a salt vein in rock.
Salt that famously comes in cubes.
And the second one people see is a
like
Minecraft.
Something out of either Mario or Minecraft.
Yeah, well, the Minecraft extends into the next evolution, as Jimmy just mentioned.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's a Minecraft. That's
just Minecraft.
That looks just. That's just a golem. That's just a Minecraft golem.
It has a 3rd evolution. Let's have a look at that.
We know what Yasu's plays in the free time.
Oh well, you you may have been a bit soon on the old "that's a golem."
Oh, is the next one even more a golem? Yeah, that's even more a golem.
I mean, it's a bit hard. Cubes are kind of out of the question now just because of Minecraft. So.
I mean, this one is much less Minecraft than the first one.
You can make things with cubes that don't look like Minecraft, but the way they have that face designed, that's Minecraft.
The face design in the second one, and just that it has the rock formations, stripies, what's it called? in the cubes. That's just very Minecraft.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, that's just veins in rock, you know?
Yeah, but cubes don't have to be rock.
Yeah, true.
They could make marshmallow cubes.
They can make spam cubes.
Oh no!
Let's make a spam cube Pokemon.
Oh. Didn't Chip make a spam Pokemon at some point?
Did they?
Spam container, I think.
No, that was an SCP. That was the spam genie,
Oh. Oh.
which I was recently reminded of and had completely forgotten existed. You ever heard of seen of Dondozo? Dondozo. Oh, it's a big old catfish. Hang on, let me check. Just posting pictures of Pokemon now.
Ooh. Fine. This is a really cool conversation right now.
Wait, I did that. I did the spam genie, did I?
Really?
I reiterate,
Like
I had no. Well, it was an SCP. I didn't make up the idea, but I have no memory of this. You gave it to me. Okay, right. Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In the third form, it has a big old nose. Is that not the last one? That feels like. No? Third form? Huh? Doesn't evolve. I'm confused. Oh, 3D. Oh, in the 3D, sorry. I'm a fool. Oh, yeah. Bit strange. Spam genie. Yeah, it's got this sort of weird blobby nose at the end. It's strange.
Odd.
Which, I mean, if you zoom in on that, you just have a face, little hexagon eyes, and a nose, and a mouth. Anyway, enough messing around and saying that this is a face and this isn't a face. Yeah, I can't do numbers. You know this. I do algebra, not numbers. Yeah, I like Floorcroc.
Flock.
Flock. What was that name?
It had something to do with a void and
Crocobis. That was
crocodiles.
it. Crocobis. It's a friend. That's what it is.
You sure
Friendly
about
Crocobis. So what?
And it will pull you down into the abyss. Don't get
Hey.
caught in those teeth.
It's a friendly abyss. It's a dark ground. Wait, hang on. There's already a dark ground crocodile, isn't there?
Yeah, but for a different reason.
Is it the one with the weird ass black eyes I hate?
I don't know.
It's got the sunglasses thing, makes it look like it's some sort of biker punk.
Yeah. And also its nose looks suspicious.
Yeah, I hate those eyes.
I like the first one. There's a cute little friend. Still got the glasses going on, but yeah. I should show these on stream. There's the little one.
Those are glasses?
Well, they're not glasses, but they're patterned to look like glasses.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're supposed to look like thieves.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Because the last one's called Crocodile, and it has a questionable nose. But it's also
It's a crocodile.
It's a crocodile.
Crocodile.
Haha.
I get it. I like it more now, but still, I hate those eyes.
That's fair. There's also Crocorock, who's just too cool for you. They're a teenager. Which I will also put there for Christy.
Thank you. I like that design if they didn't have the black eyes.
Yeah,
creepy.
yeah.
Well, and the fun thing is with this middle evolution, since we've now got, and it's always the middle evolution that throws things off. Go figure. It's hard to just define the middle. With the way they have the eyes, because with the first stage and the last stage, you could always have it be like, oh, it's like with raccoons, they've got like eye spots around it. But this one has eyelids.
Yeah.
So that means they have black eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
And that I don't like that.
That's how I see all of them. All three of them. That's
I think it's just
like
the pattern
if that was
stops
like
there,
raccoon eye spots, yeah, that works. But this one is explicitly saying no. It's got eyelids that are closing over that, and it's like hate it.
dark Sonic eyes.
Look, I'm not here to defend Pokemon designs.
Anyway, are we doing a last one?
Do we want to do one all together or?
Yeah.
Can do. Let us do the thing. We now have to divide the canvas in 3 again, which is easy.
I mean, technically yes, but you're not going to make a nice shape.
Never nice. There we go, close enough. I'm gonna go here. Right, okay, so I will make a prompt for Christy. Sorry, forgot what literally just happened. And then Christy for Ragdoll for moi. No, I'm not going to give you shat on. Or Heine. No.
Shat on by Heine.
Okay, I'm going to do it again. If not. Okay, I'll just... Okay, well, maybe.
I have
Okay, sure.
Ragdoll if it's
Yeah.
okay. Flamitic. As in flaming, make flamingo.
So can we say the name again?
Flamitic.
There it is. Flamitic. Or is it just a tick that's on fire?
Ah!
Well, there'd be a K there, I guess. Okay, I have one. Can you have Fluffitar?
Oh. Fluffitar.
Fluffitar. Look, it says Chaton. That's not me.
Okay. And Chris, I've got for you Jaguar Buff.
Look, I managed to avoid the buff animal that you gave me last time. Okay, right.
I mean, I
A
could make it
paradox
a
form of
technical fire.
Igglybuff. It's just a spotted Igglybuff. No, I'm gonna go original, but I don't know how.
Is there something obvious I'm missing in the name Fluffitar? I get fluff.
Not
I mean, there is a Pokemon called Tyranitar, which is a sort of
Larvitar.
Godzilla-y type Pokemon. And Larvitar and Pupitar, yeah.
I would help you talk to Renatar. But I don't know precisely what that entails.
So someone go look up on Bulbapedia, where does the tar come from?
What itar? It's a fluffy sitar. I don't just want to draw a furry, you know? But I might end up doing that. Which is an issue, not because of anything negative to do with furries, but because, boy howdy, if there are some dedicated and very talented artists out there, it's the furries. And I'm not going to come close. Like, I might be from Tarask. Interesting. Don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
No. Well, okay, I'm gonna go. No, hang on.
A legendary dragon from France. Oh, fun.
So, big fluffy dragon. Lion head. Fluffy mane. Tarask was described as having a lion-like
and
head.
there is precedence for fluffy dragons in Pokemon already, so...
Body protected by
even,
turtle-like...
There's even a fluffy dragon Pokemon that is a grandpa straight out of the egg.
6 feet. Not 6 legs. 6 feet. 2 legs, 6 feet.
Don't ask how that works.
I don't know, I just made that up. A little bit Tigger here, but fine, it works. And now for the quiet bit of the stream. Grandpa, Dragon Grandpa. I forgot about that. Sounds like a very old shot of whiskey.
Well, they are very old looking.
Okay, that works as a starting point. Talk amongst yourselves, chat. What do you have planned for the week ahead?
No, they refuse to talk.
Nope. They have silence planned, I see. Gotta post Patreon rewards. Ooh. Rest? Yeah, rest gear. And cheap. Not feel like you're in pain constantly. Yeah, let's stop that happening. Everybody, put your hands on the screen. Focus your energy.
We do believe in fairies. We do.
I believe in Jeeb. Trying to simplify shapes, but it's looking a little weird. Okay, let's not simplify that much then.
Okay, that looks better.
This may be where my streak of liking what I'm drawing comes to an end.
Well, I did give you a buff jaguar. And I will not apologize.
That's alright. You can pronounce it like that if you want. Haha, jokes. That's one of those interesting. Are there other words with that sort of letter structure like Jaguar that we can sort of compare for the is Jaguar or Jaguar or whatever? Because there's various different ways of pronouncing it, and I'm just wondering if there are other words with the similar sort of spelling that you can compare it to and go, oh, okay, so it's pronounced differently to this, but the same as this or whatever.
I don't know. But I mean, it also probably depends on like what language did we steal the word from?
Yeah. But sometimes it's just like a regional thing, like the whole sort of route situation. That was the first one I was like, oh, I wonder if there are other words that we can use that can go, yeah, we pronounce it like this, but in this particular word we pronounce it differently, and so on and so forth. And that's when I discovered that OUTE is basically only for route. Every other word I can think of that has that combination of letters is a derivation of it.
Etymology. Words are fucking stupid. Oh, so it's Portuguese.
Oh, Jaguar.
Interesting. Are there jaguars in Portugal? Because the only jaguars I'm aware of live in like jungly areas.
So what you're saying is they gave us the word, but they don't deserve it.
Well, I'm more wondering why they have the word for it, and why we're using their word for it.
Because language. Posting on YouTube, trying to build on that platform. Yeah, people go follow the Crossroad on YouTube. I did twice. Because I technically have 3 accounts, but I don't use one of them. Well, I do, I just post VODs. Also, I very, very, very briefly recently had 69 followers on YouTube. Had it for like a day. And now it's gone. Now it's 70. Never again.
It doesn't even matter.
In the end, doesn't even matter.
Okay, so it's actually it's actually a word from one of the various older South American languages. That makes more sense.
Ah, right, yeah. Then it was adopted by Portuguese.
Probably less adopted and more co-opted, but
Adopt.
because as Chi pointed out, the Portuguese did a lot of colonizing.
Cultural adopting. Oh, if I'd have thought about it, I could have tried to implement the good Chib torso tutorial. But alas, I did not think about it.
Drawing fire or things that are supposed to look like fire is not easy.
Yes.
Even less easy when you're doodling in red.
Then everything's fire.
Okay. Well, I've got something at least.
Yee.
I have not, but I will accelerate my efforts.
It just means that you won't be able to sit here and start shading it.
How do you know that's not the stage I'm already on? And I just have high standards for what I consider something. Which, I mean, is how long you guys have known me. Probably shouldn't be surprising.
Nope.
Yeah, getting ready for 5th sketch.
But what about 5th sketch? Yeah, I got to use that in a video. Also, it's only just occurred to me there are 2 Lord of the Rings references in that video.
I mean, there's a lot of things that have Lord of the Ring references, even if you're not directly referencing Lord of the Rings. Like, as far as I'm aware, the first fantasy story where we have, we're being menaced by a giant evil spider is Lord of the Rings. And then everyone else is just kind of like, hey, that's a good idea, actually. Let's get menaced by a giant evil spider.
I'm
or
pretty
a bad
sure.
idea, depending on how you see it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure Miss would not describe that as a good idea.
I think Doggo is saying I'm done, so I'm done.
That's fair. Just gonna add some bits and bobsels to get the idea across, because I don't have time to do anything else.
Don't worry about it, miss. It's not important.
It's fine, Miss. Don't worry about it. Just said how much you love insects. Comparatively speaking. Okay, that'll do. Boom.
Oh, dang.
Are we zooming out?
I zoomed out when you said boom.
Cool. Zoom. Ah, look at him.
I love this. Jaguar? What was it?
Jaguar? Yeah, we were talking about Jaguar, weren't we?
I spent
G-
most
Yeah,
of
the
the
name was like Jaguar Buff or something like that.
Jaguar buff.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Nothing but bangers tonight.
Yeah. And I love the nails. It's a little big-eyed dragon dog.
Well, something.
Aw, it needs to be booped.
I like phlegmatic.
Phlegmatic. Yeah.
Phlegmatic.
Beautiful plumage.
Yeah. And before I got an idea, I was like, well, the first thing that comes to mind is literally a flaming tick. So I'm just going to
Yeah.
get that out of my brain so I can move on to something more useful.
I read that as an eye in a mask.
Oh, I see. Yeah, one part of a domino mask
Yeah.
with some cool eyelashes. No, it's a tick. But it's on fire, so that's fine.
Never have those words been uttered before.
I mean, that is one way to deal with pests. Just light them on fire.
Yeah. Light the whole house on fire.
The whole field. Traditionally, they hide in grass, don't they? They just burn the field.
Think about food later.
They harvest all of the useful things, the wheat and so on and so forth, in big wellies. And then burn the field. Yeah. This is good. We came up with some good things. I like it. And now the tradition. Cool. I've learned something today. If I want to like the things I draw in these streams, big, chunky shapes. I forgot about the turtle, aqua turtle. What was its name? It says there, aquatella.
Aquatella.
Yes, because
I
we were trying to
think.
work out what tella means. Yeah. Yeah, and the spirograph as well. I like how aquatella being the only thing that's coloured in is like, I'm here.
Also, I like how the spirograph is not quite, but almost sort of centered around the one head, so it looks like it's got a halo.
Yeah. Well, hello. I am Aquatella. Do not be afraid. Nice. Good times. This was good for a stream that we didn't know what we were going to do till we got in it. Yeah, it was fun. Yes, that's the end of Anne's stream. We will be back. Well, I will be back on Tuesday with the Hitmans. More Hitman happening. And then Wednesday Doodle Times, and then Saturday Solasta, because Dark was mistaken. He doesn't have RPGs on Saturday. Well, he does, but not during stream time. And then more random things, hopefully slightly better plans next Sunday. Well, I say hopefully, this turned out good. So maybe we should leave it till the last minute, no? Yeah. Thanks for Chillstream. Thank you for being here. This was a nice time. Thank you for Ragdoll and Christy for being here and doodling good things.
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That probably would have been a good time to stop, but I don't have music ready, so we're not going to stop. We're going to keep talking.
Wow. Wow.
I don't have that soundtrack, unfortunately. What's the closest I've got?
Hey, I'm Aesonet. You don't have to find it.
Yeah, exactly. You just loop that.
I mean, when in doubt, bone trouser.
I'm sure I have a soundtrack that's similar to that. Well, I've got Please Don't Touch Anything. That's not really the same. Bone Trouser it is. Thanks for coming, everybody. Glad to catch you all. This was much needed. I'm glad. Yeah. Good friend times is a good thing when to listen to while sick. Yeah. I'm glad I could help. I'm glad we could help. Yeah. Hope you all get better and hope you all have a lovely time. I've been watching crispy vids all day and rereading old conversations with good friend too. Oh. I'm glad I could be at least partly of service. And we could help cheer you up in the evening. Hooray! Yeah. Have a lovely time, everybody. We'll be back in the future. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.